At EeroQ, we are the only company developing an electron-on-helium quantum computer. A quantum computer can simply be thought of as the next generation of computer. If you want to have a successful business, especially as a startup when your resources are naturally limited, you really have to focus on one thing. So EeroQ focuses only on building the quantum chips that will be the backbone of these quantum computers. We're able to outperform competitors by putting everything on what's called a monolithic chip design. We ran a full-fledged search across the country to find the best place to build a quantum computer. There are a relatively small number of locations around the country which have a critical mass of talent, government support, including both funding and government resources. We picked Chicago first based on, the true story. We had interviews with folks who say, I really want to work for EeroQ, but there's no way that I'm going to work in these other locations. But if it's Chicago, I will work for you. And there were different reasons for not wanting to work elsewhere, whether it be a cost of living or just being a little boring, because we were a spin-out company of a university and we could just do the experimental work, as you can see in the background, at the university and connect on Zoom meetings. We had folks all over the place, and that was okay for 4 people. We raised our first round of venture capital funding. We realized that we needed to find a home base that would allow us to grow and attract talent, because talent is amongst the scarcest commodities in quantum computing. We did look at all the other options and ultimately chose Chicago. There's a couple things. The universities are the most common answer. We have a tremendous network. And then for me, having to do a lot of traveling, it's great because I don't have to fly between New York and San Francisco, which, having lived in New York, becomes quite a long flight after a while. The fact that Chicago is also accessible to other partners as well. We just had one of our partners fly in on Friday from San Francisco, and that's an easy flight. Whereas if we were in New York, that would have been a much more difficult and arduous trip for them. There absolutely is an infrastructure set up. If I had questions, they were always answered promptly. We were always able to get to a solution. It was really the ability of World Business Chicago to act as a center point and say, well, if we can't help you with this particular problem, we know who can. And maybe this is just a good old-fashioned Midwestern thing, that there was never any ego in, oh, we want to be the ones to get you the financing, or we want to be the ones to get you the talent. It all works collaboratively, and it's all working towards the highest level of success in the Chicago ecosystem. There were challenges around the best way to go about securing that local talent because we know it's here. They were able to help us immediately plug into the talent network that otherwise would have taken us a long time to figure out on our own. Questions come up all the time, so having an ecosystem around you was really critical. All of the organizations that worked together in Chicago had an open door for us, made introductions for financing, really the full spectrum of resources that you need as an entrepreneur. World Business Chicago was able to be helpful to us. What's unique is that there is more than one organization. That's the big difference. We talked about focus earlier and why our company is focused, because we'll only succeed if we only do what we do best. And if you go to other equivalent organizations in other cities, they will say the same things, and they will, I'm sure, do their very best to try and deliver on them. Ultimately, you're dealing usually with one organization, maybe 2. And here, it's the big 4, World Business, Intersect Illinois, P33, and especially the Chicago Quantum Exchange, given their direct focus on quantum. And we really do owe a lot of credit to Governor Pritzker for the state's goal of being the hub for quantum technologies. World Business Chicago did an amazing job in connecting us with, at the time, was a nascent ecosystem and now has become much larger. And all of these organizations work together towards the common goal to make Illinois a leader in all types of quantum technologies. We budgeted 6 months for our first round of hiring, and we ended up hiring every person in a month and a half. Between all of the universities here, as well as the corporations here, there's a high density of talent from which we can recruit from as a quantum computing company. Chicago, I would say, when we looked through the numbers, had the largest number of companies where we could see pulling semiconductor talent from. We have close collaboration with the University of Chicago's clean room facilities, which isn't exactly talent, but is where the talent goes. Being a company focused fully on only building quantum chips, we knew that we would need to find strong partners for the rest of what's called the stack, or essentially from where our chip is to how it gets into the end hands of the user who is programming it. One example of this is we did a deal with a company that has a large presence in Chicago called Inflection, and we built a quantum simulator with them. And then we have very close relationships throughout the ecosystem. We have a very large event with 50 people coming in from Japan to do a trade dialogue. We have another event to educate young people about quantum computing and try and get more folks to enter the workforce. People get really excited when they see all of the equipment and machinery that it takes to build a quantum computer. And the type of innovation that's happening right here in Humboldt Park is something that we're really excited about. I think the most important thing is always to find a place where you're going to be able to recruit the best people for your company. And this applies whether it's a field like quantum computing where talent is hard to find, or even perhaps an industry where talent is easy to find. Either way, you want a place where your employees are going to be happy, because ultimately that will make them more productive at work. As the executive of the company, you want to have the resources available to make those employees happy. And that includes both the resources available from local organizations, as well as the local culture and cost of living and other factors like that. When you add up all of these things, I believe Chicago comes out a winner on most all fronts. We're happy with our decision in terms of talent. We're happy in terms of geography. We're happy in terms of how all of the local organizations like World Business Chicago have helped put the pieces together for us. And we're happy because we see a growth future here.